Hutton Orbital, our whole plating is made from recycled Frey Bentos pie tins. Hutton
No,
Orbital,
really.
our
You
whole
can smell
plating
the
is
gravy.
made from recycled Frey Bentos pie tins. Hutton
No,
Orbital,
really.
our
You can
whole
smell
plating
the
is made
gravy.
from recycled Frey Bentos pie tins. Hutton
No,
Orbital,
really.
our
You
whole
can smell
plating.
We're on high alert at Hutton tonight. There's a rumour going round that some of the Hackswing pilots have gone space crazy, which is like normal crazy but cooler because it has the word space in front of it. The thing is, we heard they're heading to Hutton with hauls of biowaste to dump all over the station. That would be nasty, even for Hutton, where people with cubicle 3 on a daily basis. Not to mention all that extra mass might make the orbital sink or something. Floor mopping guy has a team of volunteers ready to go with homemade hazmat suits and mops. The Hutton curling team are running drills with their brooms, and the Mobus box spaniels from security are biting random passers-by to get their eye in. Maintenance teams are spraying WD-40 into the mechanisms of the big blast shutters. They haven't been used in a while, as normally no one can be bothered coming all the way out to Hutton just to shoot at it. In Hutton Central Command, there are lots of red lights, and the big board is tracking a signal on approach. Sirens begin to wail, and anyone looking through the window can see a bright flash off in the distance. The comm beeps, and the main screen is filled with a face like a Hutton baker's Halloween cake. Beady eyes focus on completely different sides of the screen. Screeching feedback erupts from the speakers, and a voice says,
"Our mics are live!"
Good evening, and welcome to this week's show. Whilst I might be talking first, it's not me on the decks tonight.
Nope, me neither. I'm sat here with my feet up. It's awesome.
I don't do button mushing. The pan keeps missing the right button.
And I can't be trusted with them.
Well, this swivel chair doesn't let me see over the edge of the desk. That's how you still have you know.
Oh, it's not deliberate. Probably because the usual oaf broke the uppy-downy thing.
Well, this usual oaf pleads not guilty. It just came off in my hand. However, if he's not on the deck, and she's not on the deck, and I'm not on the deck, and neither is he, then that means...
It's me! Yes, I've got all the buttons, and I'm not afraid to use them. I mean, I can't promise they'll be all right in the order that, they're meant to be. But let us put stickers on all of them for me, because, well, you lot rubbed all the decals off over the years.
So, Bong Machine, take it away. Dusty's cousin Rusty goes on a wander.
Witherspoon joins Chain Gang.
"47 weeks of muggings in the bubble, the latest runners and riders."
Atreus does battle with Iniv, or is it INIV, when it comes to the Thargoid sums.
And Alex Zuno gives us their take on the situation.
Hutton declares an outbreak of nothing in our space for a second week in a row.
First, this evening, a report of minor confusion around the guest quarters over at Hutton Orbital earlier this week after visiting dignitary Mrs. Vantean Sr., also known as Mum, made a trip out to Proxima and, being unfamiliar with the rather backwards way we'd wired everything, had a little bit of an incident. Mrs. 21 Sr., not to be without her creature comforts, she'd ordered a spot in the more luxurious quarters aboard the station. Luxury being a relative term aboard this orbital. In this case, she got her own room and didn't have to bunk up with anyone. The Apex taxi which delivered her, she doesn't pilot herself these days, being a lady of leisure. She's got people for that kind of thing. Arrived at Pad 2, and fearful of a very stern glance, the waiting porters rushed to unload her travel luggage. After putting their back out, lifting a few of the bags, they grabbed a nearby forklift and transferred the lot to Madam's quarters. Having retired to freshen up after her long super cruise to the orbital, security cameras spotted our guest wandering the corridors, looking a little cross and more than a smidge perturbed. Liaison officers in full body armour, yes, she's got quite a reputation for having stern words with authorities when they cross her, were dispatched to ensure that Mrs. 21 Sr. was okay. What they found was her wandering corridor to corridor behind her trusty robo-valet, speaking in rather stringent tones. "Bad, Rusty! Get back in your house!" To which the robo-valet, Rusty, just beeped and proceeded to tack his way down the corridor, clonking and clunking his way edge to edge. "Rusty, I'm not going to tell you again. Get back in your house right this instant." At which point she pulled out a handheld device and started stabbing at the buttons, which of course had no effect on Rusty, who by this point had decided that the nice carpet in the corridor needed sweeping. Given his age and rather wonky motors, he proceeded to eat the carpet, turning the faux Persian design into a back-combed monstrosity with shag pile and pulled threads long enough to lose whole detachments of Momus Bog Spaniels. At which point, Rusty dragged the entire thing into one of the lifts, the doors shutting on the now ruined carpet, or at least half of it, and heading up to the entertainment level. There was a grinding noise as the lift ate the carpet and jammed, but the doors opened just enough for Rusty to rip the corner from the carpet and head into the bar. Mrs. 21P, refusing to be assisted by security teams, took the lift alongside this one and, arriving in the entertainment wing, stood firmly in front of Rusty with her hands on her hips. "Now that's quite enough, young man. I said back in your house," and pushed a button on the handheld device again. Whereupon all the TV stations in the bar turned to settlements under the hammer. At this point, and fearing for Mrs. 21P's life and that of his favourite bar, Cecil dumped a Centauri Mega Gin sling into Mr. Rusty's upper vents. He gave a pathetic whimper and stopped. At which point, floor mopping guy, ever the helpful soul that he is, pushed Rusty back to Mrs. 21's quarters. It turns out the floor hadn't been clean enough for her liking, and opening her travel valet's case, she'd hit the go button, and Rusty had gone. He'd done a good job, but she'd forgotten to plug in his travel case, and with no signal to know where he was, he'd gone on a wander in search of somewhere to recharge. It didn't help that his remote control is near identical to the one in the guest rooms that controls the in-room entertainment suite, though quite often it's stuck broadcasting cat videos for Alvin's amusement. Anyway, maintenance teams have been sent to get the dents out of the walls, and a technician to her room to make sure all appliances are properly connected. The bill for the repairs is being covered by Cecil, as recovering ancient valet tech from a gin to electronics incident can be astronomically expensive, and the consequence is quite dire. This is, of course, a reminder to all pilots and guests visiting the orbital. Lael would like to remind you that you don't need to bring your own domestic appliances, unless, of course, we're in infrastructure failure. So please, in future, call down to reception and we'll send floor mopping guy.
Commander Beetlejuice has sent out an urgent appeal for any sightings of one Commander Witherspoon, who appears to have gone on a walkabout, so you don't have to. Evidence for his present whereabouts is scant, though inspection of his quarters have suggested that he put up quite a struggle given the state of the wreckage and bodily fluids found at the scene. Rumour has it that as a result of racking up a rather sizable debt with a number of Imperial organisations, a crack team of reclamation agents have seized him and are holding him as an indentured slave in lieu of payment. The debt, of course, on inspection by forensic accountants appears to be purely fictional and manufactured. And the debtor? The Imperial Times news agency. By sheer coincidence, this week's Imperial Galactic News broadcast, when studied linguistically against Commander Witherspoon's usual output, bears more than a passing resemblance, right down to the exact level of innocent-sounding snark at the authorities. While the Imperial Times Galactic Supplement is an old-fashioned pulp publication made from sacrificed trees, analysts have studied the depth of the typewritten letters, and whoever is typing them by hand is either very angry, in sporadic bursts, or trying to send us a message. Reading all the heaviest letters as a form of Morse code, they appear to say, "Send help, stop. Kidnapped by Empire, stop. Being forced to write propaganda, stop. Please ask them to stop, stop. New writers drafted, stop. Given hoverboards and tiny yoga mats, stop. I am not cooperating, stop. So you don't have to, stop." Which all sounds a little worrying. We've dispatched a number of Hutton's finest infiltrators to see what they can do about the situation, but in the meantime, this means that Hutton's your best remaining eye on the news out there in the galaxy. Luckily, other than the Thargoids and some confusing stuff about salvation and the Far God cult and presidential election debates for the federal leadership, there's not much to report. Oh, and the Rackham-Hudson peanut butter spread cage match appears to be off, as Rackham's mum complained. Cue much laughing from the Hudson camp.
After 47 weeks, or almost 11 long months, Too Hot Too Messy, the Hutton-led initiative to deliver a Hutton mug and Centauri Megagin to all the stations in the galaxy, has recorded over 81,000 deliveries, half of which are part of the new 70,000 new stations discovered since we started. Too many news in there, oops. Weekly numbers were about the same as last week, and the 4-weekly average is hovering around 1,200 a week. One new commander joined this week, increasing the number signed up to 292, who are spread across 96 squadrons. Hutton still has the largest contingent, with 93 commanders, who have delivered over 43,000 mugs. The Buckyball Racing Club are still in second place with almost 4,900. The Winged Hussars are holding third with 3,150. The Paladins are in fourth with over 1,900. The Order of 12 have almost 1,600 in fifth. The Bear Pit are sixth, and the Anti-Xeno Initiative are seventh. The Soteria Accord are eighth, and the Undead are ninth. Elite Dangerous NZ are 10th, and membership of the 1000 Club remains at 10 squadrons. Commander Chicks, yeah him, is still leading the deliveries table with almost 12,000 mugs delivered. Waller 81 is second, having gone into 5 figures earlier today with over 10,000 deliveries, ahead of Nemb in third with 6,300 deliveries. Shay Blackwood is in fourth place with almost 4,800, ahead of Infinite Dreamer in fifth with 2,900. Talkie Mouse is 6th, ahead of LDSK in 7th. Border Reaver's push has taken them into a clear 8th place, ahead of Reese Lang in 9th. Sinister Hedgehog concludes the top 10. The 1000 Club still has 13 members, and of course we know all of this because it's tracked live in the Too Hot Too Messy event page in the Hutton Helper. Additionally, there is a chance to win a real-world, dishwasher unsafe, self-cleaning, so you don't have to, Hutton mug. Any commander that delivers 10 mugs and gin in the weekly Thursday to Thursday period will be entered into next week's draw to win a real Hutton mug, unless of course you already have one. 46 lucky commanders have accomplished this so far, and you can see a little golden mug next to their names in the top commanders table. As mentioned, last week's winner was Takamoto, so keep listening for this week's winner to be announced in the banter bit after the news. If you'd delivered 10 mugs and gin every week since the start, 11 months ago, you'd have racked up over 470 deliveries. But so far, only 30 commanders, which is 1 in 9 of those signed up, have achieved this. So if you haven't, why not give it a try and share the burden for the next 4 years? In order to join in the fun, you'll need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download. And then your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically registered for you by Interius's organic, non-GMO, soya-fed, local estrol replicant hamsters, which might not be able to pass a Voight Conf test, but using their set of very special skills, will hunt you down and will find you.
Good evening, truckers. Atras 5060 reporting in with all the latest updates on the Thargoid War. Another strong week for humanity in defending and reclaiming systems from the evil Thargoids. Once again, we had another record-breaking week for the AX community, with 92 systems defended or reclaimed from the Thargoids. The efforts of the Mode Alliance, or is it MODE, the Hive and the AXI or AXI, as well as countless other groups, I'm not going to mention their name, has proven that we have finally found a means of containing the Thargoids in a little box and deserve the recognition for their heroic efforts. The effectiveness of Thargoid tissue sampling to help in defending systems has proven so powerful that for systems that seem to be around 20 or maybe 30 light years away from the Maelstrom only need 1,500 tissue samples collected and sold to the rescue ships, whereas systems closer to the Maelstrom require a little bit more, with the highest amount of samples needed to be near the 10,000 mark. That's an awful lot of mopping up with tissues, you know. I don't know who made that mess. Anyway, the science of this work has been led by several key individuals. One of them is the humorously named Commander Carpets. Better stay away from that robot from earlier. Anyway, an active member of Operation IDA, or is it IDA, in PDES, or PDES, who has shared their fascinating insights with the MODE, the Mode Alliance, and other AX or AX groups. Overall, the efforts of that community, the AX one, has led us to being able to block and reduce the number of Thargoid alerts this cycle to a very, very manageable 24 systems. Hooray for us! There are a handful of active invasions as well, but if previous weeks are anything to go by, and I'm sure they are, apart from the ones when I was on holiday, they'll be resolved quickly, so the AX community, or maybe the AX community, can focus on counter-strikes, no, not the computer game, actually fighting back, and alerts, maybe even red alerts. That is a computer game if you remember it, because you're old like me. Anyway, Hackswing participated in the defence of Tyrannus Maelstrom last cycle. Are we defending Tyrannus or are we defending against Tyrannus? I don't know. Anyway, we provided a quick defeat of the Thargoids in the area. Yay for us. Mode Alliance, or maybe MODE, also managed to claim 29E Orionis as well from the Thargoids through the concerted efforts of Marauder's Vanguard. Pointy. We at Hackscom would like to thank our partners in MODE, or maybe Mode, as well as all of our trackers who've been out there helping in the war effort. You're all splendid. To start off this week's targets, Hackswing will be defending against the Thargoid invasion. Now, got your pen handy. It's HIP 29596. You got that? 29596. Combat pilots are asked to focus their efforts in combating Thargoids at the planetary base, also known as Pierce Base, while rescue and supply pilots are asked to work out at the local Coriolis station, Decamp Vision. FTM Hackscom and FTM Hacks Ops have jumped to Buku Manor to provide support. See you out there on the front lines, trackers. For the mug.
From the desk of Alex Zuno, dated yesterday. For the timely attention of the Hutton Orbital Truckers Cooperative, I hope you are all quite well. I would like very much to present a concise report tomorrow which meets at least the basic quality to which we are accustomed. As you may have determined, Imperial Navy Intervention and Rescue maintains a detailed scanning and tracking apparatus which surpasses most other means of quantifying the war, and on which much of said other means relies for correctness. In the last 2.5 months, the Inniv Harvest Wing has evicted the alien menace from 199 unpopulated and 16 inhabited systems. I expect fully to achieve our 200th empty system eviction this evening. It will delight you to know that a combination of tearing corrosive material from Thargoids and your proffering of ridiculous trucker words has endeared V to the notion of fitting cargo racks, albeit strictly of the anti-corrosive variety. He enjoys very much proclaiming Gardiloo when he jettisons the surplus material and limpet zones, then explodes it all promptly afterwards with the remote release flak which was supposed to be reserved for emergencies. Thus far this week, commanders have repelled 27 alerts with 17 inhabited defended all 4 invasions at HIP 22052, Lavoroju, Gargoxians and Oris, and evicted 53 control systems with 1Me, Valaworth, HIP 20948, BD plus 7784, and Balak beginning recovery. Thanks to our strategic manipulation of Thargoid attack patterns, we can be sure that Maelstrom Haddad will lose 3 attacks, Ligong and Oya each will lose 4 attacks, and Thor will be unable to attack, having lost all 5. The present total is 84 systems, and after the transport of several thousand units of corrosive cargo from HIP 8825, it would be well for that to become 85 within the hour. Assuming the above paragraph would suffice were the final count, I intend to update it tomorrow morning following any further alien humiliation which definitely will occur at a few more systems around Maelstrom Coquille. Speaking of Maelstroms themselves, I intend preparing for and exploring within them in place of improving the aesthetics of your bounty totals for a while. Commander Alex Duno, Imperial Navy Intervention and Rescue. Follow-up message received dated today. In week 30, commanders repelled 29 alerts and 18 inhabited, defended all 4 invasions at HIP 22052, Lavoroju, Garongixians and Orus, and evicted 59 control systems with 3 captures at 1Me Valaworth, HIP 20948 and 8825, BD plus 7784, and Balak beginning recovery. That becomes a total of 92 systems, 1 versus only 34 attacks, making it one of the best weeks for humanity we have seen. Additionally, thanks to our strategic manipulation of Thargoid attack patterns, Maelstrom Haddad lost 3 attacks. Ligong and Oya each lost 4 attacks. Thor was unable to attack, having lost all 5. The last time any inhabited systems were lost was 11 weeks ago.
Hang on a minute. I just said all of that, well, in a roundabout fashion.
Much like last week, you could argue that there is bugger all going on in Hutton space. 5 systems are on the naughty step this week, and apart from past events, the Master Control Situation Display Panel board is completely clear. More on those stories coming up. 2 systems that are seemingly locked in a wooden spoon pact, Hill Pass Psi and LP525-39, both on 35 last week, both lost 4 points to join each other, 31. LP532-39 managed to be marginally less good to claim this week's wooden spoon. As was the case for the previous 3 weeks, both systems have a clear board with nothing of note going on, so feel free to go in there and boost Hutton's interests. Recent wooden spoon winner Stein 2051 fell a point to 34. Returning to the zone of concern after a brief holiday in the 40s is Ross 671, perched on 35. Still maintaining its point-a-week upward trend, the notoriously hard-to-move Epsilon Indy has managed to soar to the dizzying heights of 37. The smelling salts have been put on standby for next week. One system that we haven't heard much from in a while is Barnard's Star, and I thought I'd get to mention it when I saw it on 33 a couple of days ago. But no, B-Star continues to defy me after scuttling back up to 41. At the overachieving end of the Hutton Systems table, we have 5 systems on or above 60%. And priorities this week are, if you want to chuck something, boost LP525-39 and Hill Pass Psi.
And everybody, round of applause for Aemilia. Woo-hoo!
Hey!
That wasn't stressful at all.
No, it wasn't. Lovely and peaceful. But no, congratulations on your first go. Yep, at the Hutton Orbital News. And it was seamless, yes. I got myself caught up in some tongue twisters and, yeah, you know, it was all good. Did we spot a nearly seam that was a good catch halfway through that one?
A nearly seam?
A mini seam, but it was one that was stitched on the fly as well.
Well,
where the music ran out. We ran out of background music, so I caught that.
Yeah,
I was on the ball.
Absolutely. So how are you enjoying your first go at mashing all the buttons?
It's nerve-wracking.
It is. Well, we thought if anybody missed Amelia's voice, obviously during the news, we thought it wouldn't be fair to give Aemilia the talky bits and the pushy button bits and everything, because I remember my first time doing that, and I think Litho and Josh do as well. And yeah, it's a challenge. You've got to build up to that one.
I think my exact words before the show was, "Be gentle. It's my first time."
But you're doing a cracking job so far. I mean, we've got some sort of good news. Well, it's not really good news, is that these articles are all actually true. Anyway, before we do that, though, introduce. Obviously, you've heard from Aemilia. Well done. We've got the apology officer from North Britain.
Hello.
We've got Chicks from South Britain.
Beg your pardon.
Or occasionally West Britain. Hello. We've got Commander Flossy, who's playing with an apple this evening.
Hello.
Yay! And we've got the maestro himself, excuse me, the training officer, Litho Breaker, who has been working very hard with Aemilia to get Aemilia all set up. So thank you very much, Litho. You've maintained your composure perfectly. Litho is suffering with internet problems at the moment. So if you don't hear Litho, he's sending smoke signals from his computer.
He's been great. He's been so patient with me as well.
He's stringing the bean tins back together.
Yeah, or possibly he's just left his mic on mute. One or the other.
Yeah, well, you could have owned that one and just blamed the internet. You know that. Yes.
No, that'll be what kills me in the middle of when I'm actually trying to say something, not when I'm just sitting here quietly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do notice on our stream it says unstable. Well, that's just NFH, normal for Hutton.
Just fold a beer mat into 4 and then just stick it under one leg. That's sorted out.
Yeah, the unstable thing refers to the crew, not the
referring to my mental state.
Yes.
Yeah. as you can see, Aemilia has loaded up the spinny ships, currently looking at, I don't know, it's a crate or something. But we do have a Frontier live stream this week.
No.
Quite rare these days. It's
Once
Not
a
from now.
month.
But they're quite rare, but when they turn up, they're quite special. Anyway,
Yeah.
we do have some space news.
Space
Space news.
We still need a theme. By the way, if anybody's good at writing themes that we're allowed to play on the station here, then please do write us a little theme for space news, because it's become a thing.
We should make our own.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The community can help us. Our listener,
Yeah. Let the community do it. I'm an idiot. I'm not doing it.
or with a stylophone and
You've seen
or
what
a
happens when I
theremin.
record stuff.
we could use the. Do you remember 2001 done by the Portsmouth Sinfonia?
Yes.
Do you remember that? We could use that. That would be great.
Yeah. Trouble is,
Maybe-
licensing rules mean we need original music. But anyway, but there is space
Maybe
news.
given the
Well,
quality of our singing voices, we should barbershop it.
Oh,
We should.
yeah.
We should totally do that.
Oh, the singing this weekend. We'll get on to this weekend in a bit. But the
Let's-
singing-
a nice
barber-
a cappella.
less barber shop, more butcher shop.
Actually, before the space news, I better mention about the real honest news that we broadcast at the top of the show, because obviously the first article was entirely true. Unfortunately, well, mostly true. Mrs. 21 did plug in her auto valet, but at the same time that the gas meter and electricity meter fitter were in doing gas and electricity meter fitting. Of course, he turned the electricity off, at which point the robo valet decided it couldn't find its base station, so had a tantrum and decided to start roaming around the house. Now, at this point, he had his head under the stairs in a spider-filled cupboard and then got attacked by the robo valet, who decided to try and hoover his trousers, his feet, and ram him repeatedly while he had his head under the cupboard. And then eat a carpet and then leave dents indoors because he couldn't find his house. And my mum did yell at him quite a bit and push the buttons before realizing it wasn't the right remote control. And indeed, he couldn't find his house because the power was off. So every word of that article was mostly true.
What's Robo Valet?
Well, a Roomba or her personal assistant around the house that picks things up that she drops and
I've got
things. And
I've got a lovely Ukrainian lady that does that.
right.
What?
Anyway,
what we charges from a cupboard under the stairs.
The second one of our articles
We
is
had is not a dog as a bear had a similar incident with a sort of Roomba. It was under a table in the hall, and he was chasing a ball out there, and it went through the living room and into the hall, and he ran out and accidentally bumped it, and it came charging out of its station and lit up and made noises. So he dived away and then decided, no, my ball's back there. I'm a big tough dog. I'm going to attack this. So he dived back at it, but as he dived at it, it shot towards him. And he thought he was being attacked, and that was that. He had to run away, and obviously had to get an adult to help him. But yeah,
well, I mean, there were other options for that one. I thought it was going to sort of eat some of the long fur and end up caught in his hair, or actually end up in bits after he decided to murderize it with extreme prejudice.
It just lives on him now.
Well, he's not quite sort of the right size to do one of those cat videos with a cat sitting on top of the Roomba riding around the house.
No, I know he would say.
No.
Yeah,
He's more the sort of size that he'd need 2 or 3 Roombas just to clean him.
One for each paw. You'd have to
he
synchronize them.
He does run away now from Roombas and things like that. It's just like, no, that'll get me.
Did anybody ever see the Roomba story where the thing had come out and basically hoovered up a dog turd?
Oh,
and then flicked it all around the house.
It didn't so much hoover it up as get it caught on its wheels.
Is that what it was?
Smear.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
just took this dog turd around the entire house.
It was actually really interesting because you could see the search pattern that Roombas use to look for dust.
You can smell the search pattern. Yes. Anyway, moving along from our usual scatological humour, the second bit of news, Amelia, was sort of good for you, but sort of bad for us, is that, yes, Commander Wotherspoon has been kidnapped. He has gone missing.
I heard. I mean,
which means we don't have that bit in the show.
We don't, which is really good because it means I don't have a button to push.
Yeah, but what we do have instead is the green room section at the end of the show.
Yeah, but that'll be fine in the edit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just as a quick hint before we do the space news bit, and anybody who's come up with a theme, you better have it ready, and send it to Aemilia and let her program it in or sing it, whichever. Anyway,
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
so the green room bit, Flossy. When it comes to green room weeks,
Yeah.
what do people do to come and say hi?
They open up TeamSpeak and go to ts4themug.com.
And ts.forthemug.com is not a
Not a website.
Not a website.
website.
No, it's a server
TeamSpeak
address.
server. Yeah.
And when they get there, it's all very confusing. You'll see people hanging around in other channels, saying buck naked and Intarius, whatever. But you don't go and join them. You go into the green room. Yes.
Yes.
And there are two. There's one green room where you can talk, and there's one green room where we put gaffer tape on you, which is why it says brackets silent in it. But you can go in there. And when we get to the end of the show, we grab you, drag you into the studio, and say hi. And find out what you've been doing in the world of the Elite Dangerous Universe. And if you've got nothing to say, you say for the mug. And if you've got something to say, you tell us, and then say for the mug. And or you can ramble for ages and ages, at which point we're yelling for the mug at you. Anyway,
So, that second green room, then, that isn't just a silent room.
No, you can hear the
No.
green room feed from the radio show, but you can't talk.
Oh, right, okay, so it's not
Is-
just
is that-
not just a room you go into and there's no sound.
Is that the green room numbing down on a big bag of crisps?
Yeah.
You can hear it feed.
So if anybody's pocket lunching, echo? What?
Don't worry, it's fixed.
Oh, right. So was there an echo in here? Toast's ready. Anyway, so yeah, green room later if you want to come and say hi. Then obviously we had the news about the too hot, too muggy, which it has been, especially over last weekend. And Atros 5060 and Inev having a fight over how many they fixed. Just say lots. Between the two of them, I think they just say lots. But then, yeah, there's the Hutton space, which is boring at the moment, so nobody has to do anything, and we get into the space news. So, space news, space news. Go on then, Commander Chicks. What have you got for us this week?
I thought this one was quite interesting. If anybody lives in Staffordshire and felt the earth move a little this morning, I mean, officially they said it was an earth tremor, but it was really two supermassive black holes grumbling. And apparently we can now detect when these things...
What were they grumbling about?
Well, about having to live next door
They'd
to
seen
each
the
other.
script.
And having a bad back. And...
So apparently you can detect ripples from black holes.
Oh.
Do you like a ripple, or you were a bit more of a flake person?
I prefer a ripple
More
than
of a flake person
Ripples
myself.
are
I like
good.
a
It's the same
flake.
bloody
ripples are
thing,
good.
just with an outside on it, isn't it?
Flakes just make too much of a mess. Ripples neater.
No,
Anyway,
Ripple's Galaxy Flakes
You
Cadbury.
don't. Yeah, you don't waste
Totally
chocolate with
different.
Ripple.
The and this thing, we you know how we love a good acronym here. Well, this lot needs to go back to acronym school because it was discovered by the European Pulsar Timing Array Consortium, or EPTA. Come on, guys, is that the best you can do?
Surely that should be EPTAC.
Well, it should be, but they call it EPTA. But pulsar timing, do you remember those crappy watches you used to get advertised in the 1980s? Are they still around?
I thought they were Swatch.
No, they were
No,
Pulsar. They
Pulsar
were
was
made
different.
by Pulsar.
Yeah, there was Swatch.
I think
Casio
Pulsar.
watches.
There was
No, I
Timex
think
watches, Mickey Mouse
Pulsar
watches.
was just a brand
Definitely
name.
was
I think.
Pulsar, yeah.
I bought a
It was just a
Lorex
brand
from a
name,
guy in Bangkok. Anyway, if according to the chap at EPTA, he said it could tell us if Einstein's theory of gravity is wrong. It may tell us about what dark matter and dark energy is, the mysterious stuff that makes up the bulk of the universe. And it could give us a new window into new theories of physics. I mean, Einstein wrong? What's he talking about?
He's right. Einstein is wrong. We know for a fact that Einstein's theory of gravity is incomplete at the very least,
Well,
or
doesn't make it
completely
wrong.
wrong at the very most.
Well, doesn't make it wrong.
Only in the same sense as Newton's wrong and Einstein's right.
Well, no. If you take the assumptions out of Einstein, you get Newton's laws of motion.
Not exactly. Only if you do it
Well,
slowly.
you know what they say: if you assume things, you make an arse out of you and me.
Anyway, so researchers, which include the astronomers from the, ever been to Jodrell Bank in sort of middle Britain, the level.
Be into it. I can see it from the window.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Well, it was built in the 1950s and it still works. I mean, Flossy can vouch for that, can't you? They
No,
found
Flossy's retired. She doesn't work anymore.
that she was built in the 1950s.
Yeah, but she doesn't work.
Of course she does. She worked. She was pushing buttons earlier. Anyway, they were saying that they take because pulsars are obviously a very regular beat, if you like. They're very predictable, and they're saying that the time distortion that they see with pulsar pulses is consistent with being affected by gravitational waves caused by the merger of two supermassive black holes. Either that, or they're using one of those crappy pulsar watches from the 1980s
I'm
to measure
very
it.
glad you edited that last paragraph as well, because I was going to raise a point of order about the two establishments that contained astronomers.
From Birmingham University.
Well, it isn't. There isn't any such thing.
As
It's the University of Birmingham.
we'll take it up with the BBC.
No, I will do. No, the University of Birmingham, not Birmingham University. Anyway,
I'm guessing you went to the University of Birmingham.
I certainly did. Yes.
Well, yes. So it's a sore point we've managed to
I've been there too.
aggravate.
Lovely place,
Yes,
great grounds.
Beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, of course, it's not in the city, which helps. But I do actually love Birmingham, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, the further from Birmingham the university is, the better.
I didn't
Anyway,
Aston.
Oh no, not Aston or the other one. Anyway, there was more space news. There was news on Virgins again. They seem to be in the news every single week, despite not achieving anything of note at the moment, apart from going splot.
Just a minute.
No, this is a different version.
This is-
That was Virgin Orbit. This is Virgin Galactic.
This is Virgin Galactic. So this is from Spaceport America, not Spaceport Cornwall. So
Close to
see
Tuesdays.
what they did there. Yeah, exactly. So you remember the rocket plane that, the
Well,
plane,
the one designed by Scaled Composites and Burt Rutan.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the one they take it up.
They
and then
fly
let
up
it
with
go
the big wing thing, and then drop the little wing thing, and then it feathers to come down, and that one.
Well,
That one.
today, sort of just after lunch or just after my lunch, anyway, they went up, and it was the first mission that somebody had paid for. So some Italians had paid for this. So it's no longer a test flight, and they were up there at 85 kilometers, all weightless. So he's
About
said
2:30 this afternoon, in time for tea and biscuits.
game time.
That's,
Game time.
that's most of the way to space, that is.
Yeah. So they that's it. They're commercially available now. So I think it's 800 people signed up to
Yeah.
go up on this thing. So I don't know how many it takes.
3.
Apparently, it's ushering in a new era of repeatable and reliable access to space for private passengers and researchers. It does look quite comfy up there. A lot more legroom than your average EasyJet flight.
I mean, for all we're talking about
That's
edge of
not
space
difficult.
and not being in space and nearly being in space, it went to 279,000 feet.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of height.
That's
Yeah.
that's you don't want to fall from there.
No.
You'd leave a
Well,
big crater.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You'd
Well,
be a
wouldn't you just
smouldering
reach terminal
nothing by the
velocity
time you
and
got here. Yeah.
Freeze to death and suffocate on the way down. But
And go on fire.
So you burn down, fall over, and sink into the swamp.
So at the
if
moment,
you
they're
look
looking
at
for a mission rate of about once a month to start working through the backlog, and then in 2026 they're going to go to once a week when they've got a new class of rocket plane.
well,
apparently,
even at once a week. So if you're saying 3 people at a time, that's
About 6-year backlog.
260. So that's 5 or 6 years to get.
it's
through
about
that
the
lot.
same amount of time as it takes to complete Too Hot, Too Messy.
But very true
hmm
at this rate.
Yeah, we'll have to race them.
But once it's available, people will go, well, I fancy a bash on that, and they'll add their name to this. So that list is only going to get longer. So get your name down now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're
Only
going
costs
to
us.
get more rocket planes, aren't
Okay,
they?
well, moving on from that one, I've got one. Hang on a second. The latest update to recycling systems on the ISS
Yes.
is the
The
next
good
one.
news. It's a good news headline.
Is that a typo?
No,
Recycling each pass.
no, that is exactly what happens.
Oh, right.
Yep.
So it's not piss then.
No, astronauts are now drinking almost all of their own urine.
Oh, nice.
That's fine.
That is the actual title of the article. Looking at it,
Yes. The recycling efficiency of the latest updates is around 94% of water is successfully recycled in each pass, in each cycle. So they're hoping to get it as high as 98% into the future with additional upgrades
what
to the
is it
system.
doing with the 6%? I mean, is that just stored and then sent back? Is it flushed out into space?
It's lost to other things. It's moisture in the waste, in the other waste products and the solids and things like that.
So you use a lot of paper towels and wet wipes and things like that, and you'll inevitably lose some water in those.
Yeah, basically the rest of the material that is refuse isn't completely dry, so they lose some water to
And
that.
it's not just urine, it's 94% of all water produced by crew activities.
Yep, so they're drinking each other's showers as well.
Yep.
So just imagine your first day on the shuttle, you realise what's in the tap is actually somebody else's from the previous mission.
No, on the first day in the shuttle you're fine because it's fresh water from the Cape. On your second day on board, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't.
Well, no, because I'm sure it tastes absolutely flavourless.
Having worked on your
green
local
water.
sewage works, I can guarantee that what used to come out of the works is cleaner than the River Bollin.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, probably. But
Anyway-
I'd also point out that, to be fair, down here on planet Earth, we'd recycle roughly 100% of our water. So.
Yeah, precisely.
Well, yeah. Apart from the stuff we keep sending up to the space station.
It all comes back though, because
Yeah.
when the rubbish comes back and the vehicle just burns up in the atmosphere, it's returned to Earth.
Moving things, well, from last week when we were talking about bananas for scale and aardvarks for scale and llamas and square llamas and all sorts, the MSCHF have created a microscopic bag smaller than a grain of salt.
They need to get a better anachronism.
You cannot use a banana
we
for
need
scale
better
on that
letters.
one.
Amelia's found a banana that you possibly could, actually.
You
if
might be able
check
to use
the
that
stream
banana
video.
for scale.
No, it means to be. This is 657 by 222 by 700 micrometers.
Yeah, this banana's not much bigger than
Narrow
that.
enough. A handbag that's narrow enough to pass through the eye of a needle. The purse is so small you'd need a microscope to see it.
And it's, what was it, 65,000 quid?
$63,750, so 50,000.
That's cheap for a handbag these days.
Yeah,
You do
And I
have
bet
to
you
ask.
could,
You do
and I
have to
bet you
ask
could
why,
still
though,
lose
don't
your
you?
pen in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
yeah. And the MISCHF, or Mischief, based in Brooklyn, apparently known for controversial designs. They included shoes that contained human blood, trainers with holy water in the soles, a cologne that smells like WD-40, and giant red rubber boots.
No.
So
I mean,
they
that
clearly,
that is about the same size as the bags that you get for £1 out of the supermarkets.
Yeah, but this one's reusable.
And it's bright green.
It's bright green, that's true.
Yep, they did on the bag actually add Louis Vuitton branding, but did admit they hadn't asked for permission, had they? They're in the ask forgiveness, not permission school of things.
Oh, they've got a cologne that smells like WD-40.
Or
Excellent.
just spray yourself with WD-40. We do not recommend that, by the way. It's probably bad for you.
It's
so don't
widely-
do that.
Unless you're a robo valet.
Anyway,
where all the-
obviously, if you're on this stream and watching this stream, you're obviously missing out at the moment on Drew Wagar's lore stream. Now, Drew has done these kind of things before, but this week's been a special one. You can go and catch up on it again afterwards because he is doing the Michael Brooks Memorial Lore stream. I think he's been doing it for about the last, was it half an hour or so, 45 minutes, but it is going to be available to look at again afterwards, covering some of the systems and places related to Michael Brooks. And on that note, obviously we had some lovely feedback from from Michael's family about the tribute that we broadcast. They have actually released a few details as well, which I'm just calling up, and we might be able to share in a second. I'll paste it into the chat. But the date for his funeral has been set, and they are going to be, for those of you that want to celebrate his life a bit and join in, they're going to be streaming it as well. They're going to be providing a little bit of detail later on, but it's going to be on Wednesday, the 2nd of August at 10:30 in the morning. Up in Cambridgeshire. They are going to provide details about how to join in online. They have said that they don't want any flowers or anything like that, but if anybody wants to, donations can be made to either German Shepherd Dog Welfare or Special Effect via a fundraising page. I think they have shared the fundraising page as well, which I'm just trying to dig out the link for. which will take you to a page where you can donate to one or the other charity. You just pick which one of the two you prefer to give to, if you want to, in memory of Michael. And the family said for those unable to attend, it will be available online. Details to follow nearer. But if anybody does want to go, then do please drop the team a message. And if appropriate, we can share some details with you if you do feel like you want to go and remember him in person. Then we've got congratulations to a new intake of hoverboarders. Has anybody seen this one?
No.
And little yoga matists.
No.
I went to school with him, Yoga Mattis.
They have new partners. Elite Dangerous and Frontier have new partners, of which, well, we recognise one or two of them. Obviously, the Stargoid, we gate crashed. Was it last week? We raided the Stargoid at the end of the show. It was a recent week anyway. So the Stargoid has joined the team. Ricardo's Gaming, Mini Celeste, Commander Exorcist. There's a name we recognise. The Ghost Giraffe, Kaha, Elevate Our Music, the Starcat 70 Night Bites, Imerix with a big X, BCLV4. I think I've got everybody there. Have all been added to the streaming partner program. So welcome aboard, everybody. They're obviously on their streams going to be giving away Twitch drops and stuff too, same as we do. And I think they're probably going to get a hoverboard as well. By the way,
Nice.
Apology Officer, how is your hoverboard?
My hoverboard is very nice. I now have the bracket to attach said hoverboard to the wall to stop it floating away. But I
Did you
haven't
make a
actually-
decision about whether it's going to be held around the rim or poked through the holes?
Oh, but it goes through the holes. What you do is you attach the bracket to the wall, and the bracket is two long screws coming off it, and you put the board onto those screws because they're set at the right width for where the board would go through. So you put how where the holes are in the board, they're matched up to that. So you put them.
Right. And you're
put
going to
the board
vertical
onto
mount
that,
this thing?
Yeah, it'll have to be vertical mount. And then what you do is there's some nice shiny nuts that go on the top. Everybody likes shiny nuts.
You got to put your nice shiny nuts over the hole.
Over the holes,
And
yeah.
definitely don't go for the rim.
Definitely don't go for them. No.
Right. Just
so
clear that up.
it's going to be held up by the holes, and it'll be vertical because that's it. I've got the correct bracket for doing that, and because of the way the pattern is, you want it to be vertical anyway because it's got an Elite logo on it, and then the station below.
And Commander Chicks, how is your teensy tiny yoga mat? Have you tried, a downward dog on it yet, or a prancing horse, or whatever your favourite yoga move is?
An upward eland.
One of the great things about it is, the scene. It's got a Coriolis on the right hand side.
No, I don't, because I don't have one.
If you remember the scene, it's got a Coriolis,
Oh, yeah.
and then there's a sun, a sort of a quarter way in from the left hand side, and the sun is directly below where my little keyboard light sits. So when you turn it on, it reflects off this sun, and it's like, oh my god, that's bright. And you go, oh no, it isn't. I just need to push my keyboard over the sun, so it's not quite so bright.
You're just blocking out the sun using your keyboard. Okay. Maybe that's the solution to global warming. We just send giant keyboards into space, banana for scale.
It's marvelous.
And just use giant keyboards to block out the sun. That is the solution to global warming.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yep. And obviously we could speak to Gurgin Galactic, to try and launch it, but on their plane, not Virgin Orbit's one, because otherwise it would go plop somewhere off Portugal.
Oh, you remember the Irish fisherman who found that piece of wreckage a few weeks ago? It turns out it wasn't from the Virgin Orbit at all.
Yeah, not really a surprise. One bit of space scrap looks a lot like another.
Well, I'm not entirely sure it's space scrap either. You've got to be careful how you say that.
Space scrap.
Space scrap. It looks pretty like a stage of a Polaris missile.
Well, it's almost
Right.
space
It's
scrap.
stuff that we don't know going on somewhere.
Because there's a massive, one of the groups I'm involved in, there's a massive debate about what it actually was. And some people were saying it's a particular type of rocket that I've never heard of. And then somebody else put up a picture of a Polaris second stage.
It's not a
and went,
Black Knight, is it?
Well, it's not. Well, the thing is, if you saw it, I don't know whether they power washed it, but it was in remarkably good condition. And I don't know when the last time Polaris missile was launched, but not recently, but the thing didn't look like it had been in the sea for very long. So I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery about what it was.
All right. Well, I'm sure if you find anything out, or they find anything out, we'll add it to our space news if it was space related, and if it wasn't, then we'll just add it to the news. So, Litho Breaker.
Yes.
Last weekend, we all made a trip up to Halifax.
Oh no,
We certainly did.
The bank.
To the north, for those of us that are south of it, or to
To the east for those of us
wish
to the west of it.
Commander Rampage a very happy birthday.
did you take your Eki Thump hat and?
He was wearing his own.
He was wearing his Eki Thump hat. Yes.
Yep.
What a lovely town it is as well. I've never
it's
been up
nice.
there before, but we invaded Copenhagen.
He was from
A
the bar.
lovely little bar in the town of Halifax, and they had something. Was it 40 different ales, beers, and ciders on?
And I think between us, we probably sampled most of them.
Yes, though we did rather sensibly have this a 2.5% sort of summary ale because it was very, 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 very hot, and of course we were drinking for 12 hours.
Small beer.
It was
No, it was full
flavoured.
pints. It was grapefruit beer. It was really, really nice.
I've
Very
noticed
Really
refreshing.
refreshing.
It's because I think it's a new craft beer trend. I've seen what they call small beer in a lot of pubs
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, well,
2.5%.
definitely a big fan. On the basis we were drinking it for 12 hours. If we'd had not small beer, they'd have had to wheel us out of there in a hearse,
Yes,
probably.
we would have
But,
had not Sunday.
And I mean, obviously, Flossy was on the hard stuff. We were all on the light liquor. Flossy was on the 5.5% peanut butter flavored stout.
I only had a half of that right at the end of the
there
night.
are people who swear that
Yeah,
Half a
half a
gallon.
barrel.
yeah.
Half a pint. The rest of the
Half-
time I was drinking fruit juice.
Oh right, okay,
And
we'll
I
believe
don't
you.
mean cider, just fruit
No.
juice.
But it,
I'll tell you
was,
what, the rhubarb cider was really nice too.
The rhubarb cider was good. The peanut butter flavored, very topical given last week in this week's
Peanut
news.
butter stout, lovely.
Peanut butter stout. Oh my goodness, it was lovely. But no, happy birthday once again to Commander Rampage, and thank you very much for the hospitality. It was nice to see everybody. We had the Barkers there, and Commander Aiden, and Litho, and the Dead Meat. He was allowed out for the day. Alvin was there. Alvin and his handler Snoz came along as well as a load of Rampage's local friends. But yeah, a good time was had by all. A bit of a warm-up act for ECM. And talking of ECM, there are 7 weeks now to go
Crikey.
until we all get together down in Wokingham.
I'm so looking forward to Dave Con. It's going to be awesome.
It's not Dave Con. It's ECM.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell us there were 7 tickets left. But,
Oh, well, there's about that many left. But we've got a little bit of padding. We know what we want. We've hit what we want. We've got a little bit more room as well. So we're not pushing it hard because there's time between now and then. But if anybody does want a ticket, they are still available at the event website. Bag yourself a place. There are rooms at the hotel. Apparently we've taken up quite a lot of them, but there are some left. But there's also a travel lodge down the road or camping in Riverboat's Garden, as 1 or 2 are going to be doing. We've had a donation as well for the raffle, a rather splendid donation for the raffle. I believe it's from the Fuel Rats, who are who've donated one unadulterated, not been opened, not been used 3D printer to go into the raffle.
Ooh.
So thank
No, it
you
was the
very
Buckyball
much.
Racing Club, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, no, you're absolutely right. It was Buckyball Racing Club. So I was just rereading my notes. Yeah, it was Alec Turner and friends, but not Alec Turner. But it was the other Buckyball Racers. That was it. Sorry, the Fuel Rats have got a mug that's been signed by Antarctic people.
Mug.
It is a little concerning, though, that the Buckyballers are providing a 3D printer, because one of the most difficult things with that particular model of 3D printer is getting the print speed correct, so that it actually delivers the right amount of filament as it's moving around and doesn't go too fast and lose resolution and start vibrating and all sorts of nasty
It's a
stuff like
very
that.
good. We can't disparage the printer. It's
Oh,
a
it's
very
fabulous.
good printer.
But,
Yeah.
but given who's delivering it, good luck to anybody setting it up.
Oh yeah. But there are plenty of experts on hand, I'm sure. But
Because it does you the fastest prints this side of Deezer.
yeah, well, there's also one of the mugs, one of the last remaining mugs that went to the Antarctic, is going to be there as well, and all sorts of other goodies.
No way to talk about Captain Scott.
Yeah, well, Has anybody got any other news before we say to Amelia, have you girded yourself ready for the next bit?
I have.
Okay, but Flossy, have you got a name ready? You have got a name ready.
Yep.
Who's in charge of the drum roll this week? Is it Litho or is it Amelia?
That's me.
It's Amelia.
In which case, Amelia, drum roll,
Full function
please.
buttons.
This week's mug winner is Hi Joby.
Congratulations to Hi Joby or Hi Job or Hi Joby! ! But congratulations, Hi Job, on winning this week's mug. What did they win the mug for?
For delivering at least 10 mugs and during this last 7 days.
And how was
to
it
Hot
tracked, in
Shoemaker.
case you weren't listening to
And
the
track-
report earlier?
tracked by the
Hamsters!
Radar.
by the event page on the Hutton Helper.
Hi Joe B is one of our regulars as well. You always see them
fantastic.
they always make runs out to Hutton quite a lot, like 3 runs a
buying
week
mugs.
at least. Yeah.
So if anybody knows Hi Joby or sees them in game or wants to send them a friend request in game, get a message to them and say you've won. But having been told they won, what do they have to do to tell us that it's them so we can send their mug?
They have to send email to itookpart@huttonorbital.com, giving details of where to send the mug and also to prove who they are with a screenshot of their cockpit showing their commander name.
Selfie.
Fantastic.
And they are
Spelfie.
22nd in the top commanders list with 639 deliveries.
That's a
That
good
does-
one.
Oh, very
That
good.
doesn't surprise me.
They're mugging above and beyond the call of duty.
I see them online quite a lot.
Yeah.
Do we have a word of the week?
We do have a word of the week, and the word of the week this week is deliquescent.
Oh, and what does that
That's
mean?
it.
Is that a juvenile deliquescent?
No. So deliquescent, meaning becoming liquid or having a tendency to become liquid.
Ooh. Can you use it in a sentence, please?
I certainly can. Sandy Crevice became alarmed when he realised this was one of his more deliquescent farts.
Or you could just say it's the state I enter when I get too warm. I just turn into a liquid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, while we're all in a good mood and ready for a chuckle, what do you call a grilled anteater?
Reginald.
Jeff.
Is that barbecued?
No, we talked about Jeff. No, it's not barbecued, it's grilled.
Cold, I'm trying to think. Cold,
George.
No.
Oh no, George is much too nice. George has never been grilled. It's called a chardvark. You get it? You get it?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, can we send it back?
No.
Aardvark!
Aardvark!
Oh, God. Right. Well, and now, because my finger is hovering over the button,
Thank God for
and,
that.
well, I've always wanted to do this. It's time for Flossy and the CG News.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. There are no CGs to report from last week, and this week we have one new CG. Coca-Cola Limited Mineral Acquisition. A campaign to attract deep space mining pilots has been launched by the federal corporation Coca-Cola Limited, with the Federation diverting considerable resources towards sustaining its anti-xeno countermeasures. Some systems are looking to alternative options for sustaining stocks of raw materials. Coca-Cola Limited is seeking to take advantage of a strong position in its home system by running a campaign to procure additional resources for the local economy. Spokesperson Paul Dyson had the following to say: I believe that continued support of the Federal Navy's efforts to protect us is an obligation of all stellar factions. It would be in poor taste to complain or seek sympathy for the impact on our business operations while our brave military personnel risk their lives to keep us safe. That said, while the galactic economy continues to function, it falls on us to maintain high incomes to fund the war via taxes and charitable contributions. One could say that maximising proof is our moral duty. Therefore, raw materials are requested to keep off refineries churning out resources. Coca-Cola Limited has invited all asteroid miners to bring shipments of Bertrandite, coltan and praseodymium to Utley Hub in the Coca-Cola system. The campaign began today, slightly earlier than usual due to a leak by Galnet, and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. To be eligible for rewards, you must sign up as an active participant before delivering Bertrandite, coltan and praseodymium to Utley Hub in the Coca-Cola system. Please note that for commodities to count towards your personal contribution total, they must be mined rather than purchased. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Jim.
Stop.
Try it without mute.
Stop.
As we said in the news articles earlier, Commander Wotherspoon has been genonapped, and so sadly can't be here this evening. But we're sure that whatever it was he was going to say was insightful, interesting, informative, and probably other words beginning with an I, possibly even accurate. And of course, witty. And even more so on all of those if he'd had Beetlejude reading it for him. But instead of them, I'm afraid we're bringing you the apology officer. Sorry. With this week's results.
Yeah, no pressure then. Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a motorway map of Russia. For no reason. This week we have the following events. The 1,200 miles in a day cup. The I need 1 ton of polonium for a tea party tournament. The contract with the Defence Department, Deja Vu trophy. The visit from the Novichok Fairy, Charity Shield, the only in it for the money, and the explosions. Mainly the explosions actually, spectacular, and the private plane to your new home award. So, fire up the T-74 main battle tank. The Hutton Helper results are: Oplunker 1005 jumped 22,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. Torquay Mouse sold 17,000 tonnes of cargo. Rinswin Kimray sold his top mission runner, with 334 mission points. Alex Uno sold 444 credits worth of bounties. Epaphras handed in 1.4 billion credits of combat bonds. Dart Virtual destroyed 654 Thargoids, and Herwar delivered 799 people to their various destinations. So, that means there are decals this week for Oplunker 1005, Torquay Mouse, and Henrower. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of a Hutton decal nested inside another Hutton decal, nested inside another Hutton decal, nested inside another Hutton decal, and so on and so forth. There have been 9 Hutton runs by 5 commanders in the last 7 days, and they are the Berk, 1 hour 23 minutes 29 seconds. Hydro B, remember them? 2 runs, 1 hour 23 minutes 39 seconds. Steak Typhoon, 3 runs, the best of which was 1 hour 24 minutes and 0 seconds. Steve King, another regular, 2 runs, and they did 1 hour 24 minutes 13 seconds. And Turkey Mouse, 1 hour 24 minutes 53 seconds. Now, there is a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing manipulated, desalinated, sugared, mitigated, exploded, launched, verified, motivated, evacuated, unfriended, dejected, manhandled or woman-handled, deliquesced and then smeared, deflected, emphasised, apostrophised, lasered in the face, snuffled, flip-flop, mistranslated to and from Spanish, froth, chilled, mugged, ginned, wrapped up with a pretty bow, ship-short, rescued, stewed in their own juices, battered and deep-fried, dead-dropped, painted and rolled down a hill, destroyed, bought, phoned in, squeezed, inflated, patched, liquidated, evaporated, smelled, licked, discombobulated, then recombobulated, headbutted, eviscerated, compressed, enveloped, fermented, strained, murderized with an S, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, disallowed, then reallowed after consulting VAR, loved, adored, cherished and probinated, and you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com, that one is a website, and download or sign up for the spectacular Hutton Helper, now available in 3 formidable formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than getting close to your destination and then having to turn back. Anyway, that's it for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Seamless.
Almost.
That was very seamless.
Very, very seamless. Thank you for that, Mia.
Yeah.
I haven't cut you off yet, have I? Did I cut her off?
No, I thought it was muted, but I wasn't. So I was just sitting here in silence, just going, yeah, oh
Nodding.
shit, no.
For those of you
I was-
watching,
yeah.
your little picture nodded at the top of the screen there a
Yes.
tiny bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for those of you with subtitles, I was nodding.
So we got a green room next, eh?
We do, yes. So it looks like we've got a couple of people. Rather than going up to the green room, I think because we need the ventilation as well, we're going to open the door and drag them into here. If I grab the Volcarius by the whatsits, and here we go, and there would be the Volcarius. No, there they go. We do have the representative from Iniv, and we do have. Do we have the magic? Who's going to ask who what?
Just typing you up now.
Oh, there we go. And we've also got Commander Kesnick, who's currently on mute, but I'm sure when we get to them, it's going to do the thing. So we'll just wait for a second for the magic order. Dun, 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 dun,
The magic
dun,
thingy.
dun.
Volcarius's magic thingy.
Yes.
Volcarius is a magic thing.
If not, we'll just all talk to Volcarius. That's the easy
Yeah.
way.
You can just read them out to his lad. Who we talk to next, Volcarius?
No, Litho's broken it.
Yay! Well done,
Okay.
Litho.
I'd completely forgotten it was green room, so I'm typing the whole lot from scratch.
Oh, right. Okay. No, we'll make it up as we go along, shall we?
They
Well,
make
if-
it up as they go along.
Be a few more seconds.
So a few more seconds. Talk amongst ourselves. So, Aemilia.
Yes.
So the first one's going pretty seamlessly. Now, if it's anything like my first one, which went really well, and Litho's first one, which went brilliantly, and Josh's first one went really well.
He said one of going to come to shit from next week onwards.
The second bite of the cherry is where you go, OMG, because your computer will catch fire, trucks will crash into the building, there'll be
Technically,
fighter
yeah,
jets going overhead.
this is not just my first Hutton stream. This is my first ever stream.
Well, for somebody who's never streamed before, I think a round of applause from the chat channel as well, because it is definitely no more seamless than any show we've ever done. I mean, more seamy.
Seamless.
There we go,
Yeah.
seamless.
Seamless.
Yeah. Right. Oh, we've got a list now. So the first one.
We have a list.
We have a list.
Flossy
So,
to Volcarius.
You've got to interrogate the Volcarius, and we're going to assume the Volcarius's mic is vaguely
Oh,
right. Hello.
Aiden's turned up.
Oh, there's Commander Adrian as well. Oh, we're going to have to change it
I've
now.
fucked the list up now.
I'll generate a new one on the end. Carry on through and I'll put a new one on the end.
Right. So, Vocarious, how are you
Good
doing?
evening.
Good
Oh,
evening.
quite well. Yeah. Good evening, Hutton Orbital, in fact. Yeah. Oh,
By the way,
hello, Aemilia.
To answer your, because you wanted Interstellar Initiative, didn't you? I'm so
I
sorry.
I always want Interstellar Initiative.
I don't have that one yet.
They don't exist anymore, that's why.
No, but
The song lives
The song
on,
lives,
and
yeah.
the song is your bed music, Flossy.
I mean, we still have it somewhere on file, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's on the drive. Hang on a second. Let me. I'm just going to see whether just for Vocarious, I might have a copy lurking around. Hang on a second. I'll go click on that. I'm sure it's in there.
We never throw anything away at Hutton.
Well, while I'm looking for that, why don't
we do, but we never hit escape
I was going to say,
velocity. So.
it's a bit of a strange time to play the whole thing, but it's your show, and I'm not complaining. So.
Right, so...
I'm sure it's here somewhere. You know.
Oh,
H.
come on, you.
Hang on a second. I've got to push this button to make the sound come out.
I'd just
and
like to
then-
point out at this point that this is not me doing this. So I'm not in the wrong.
Oh no, it's complaining. It's complaining. It says you got to
Okay,
log in.
let's bypass that and move on. Oh,
Is that coming
Hey,
out?
yeah,
There it is.
In trouble, bug infestations in the bubble. Your whole
This is the short version, by the way.
So fairly long.
What can we do now?
It is a good
This is
song.
just for Vocarious.
Initiatives, let Flossy tell you what it is, then you can get involved with this. You should listen to what Flossy says. Flossy tells us what it is, then you can get involved with this. Now you should listen to what Flossy says.
There you go, Vocarious. You've now got to listen to what Flossy says. There you go.
Oh, well, thank you very much, 21.
Right, so anyway, how have you been?
Yeah, really well. I've been writing a few background upgrades to Intra to help us out a bit with the Thargoid War.
All right.
That kind of ties in a bit with... I'll get to that. Oh, by the way, really, really easy hint for how any old fools like us can tell how many systems, like if you just want to know the total.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know the galaxy map?
Yes, I think
yeah,
I think I know it.
I hope Atris is listening. So, in the mess of icons on the left, there's one called Thargoid War Info.
Yes,
And
I've seen it.
Yeah, and there are a load of things in there called numbers. So if you open that and you take a really useful thing called a screenshot, then if you look at those numbers from like
I foresee a death match in CQC between you and the Atris 5060 sometime soon. In fact, we might have to broadcast that.
have you actually heard Atris 5060? Does he sound like the kind of guy who's going to start taking screenshots and reading numbers?
I don't think we should do it in
No.
CQC.
He's
I
a
think
living
we should do it in
I do
CCN.
that.
lying by the sea.
I
You
do
get
that
pants
sort of
type of guy.
I think we should do it in MMA.
Well, he might be. He might be. Good evening, truckers. Atris here with a new
You're going to get a
screenshot.
terrible shock when you meet Atris 5060 at ECM. Are you coming to ECM?
I did get a ticket.
You did get a ticket. Well,
I did,
I
yes.
believe the Atris might be there. I'd have to double check. But if
That's
Atris
so-
is,
it has-
you're
he
going to
has
get a
plans.
heck of a shock. It's
That's
all
so
I
he
can
has
say.
to do the voice for the whole weekend.
I was going to say just an observation, but I think Vocarious should come and do Atris 5060.
Actually, punishment duty for Vocarious. You've got to do an Atris show. Yeah.
You say do Atris 5060. You mean
Now, now.
Do you mean as in two them in?
Right. Sorry, Flossy, you're in charge of this chat. We're taking over. So back to you, Flossy.
Okay,
Right, yes.
where was I? Yeah, so you, yes, if you take some of those, right, then
Yeah.
if you get from the ones you get 1 week to the next, you can add up the alerts
Yeah, I'm
and
good
the
at maths.
invasion and the control systems from last week.
Right.
So that's wherever the Thargoids were doing something last week. Then you can add up just the invasion and the control systems this week, so not the new alerts, just invasion and
Right.
control.
Yeah.
So in theory, those should be the same if we don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
because whatever was in alert will have gone to invasion or control, right? And whatever was invasion might go to control. But in
Yes.
practice, they aren't the same because whatever was the difference, that's how many systems we won. Like
Oh,
that's
very
it.
good.
That's all.
So
you need
what
to do.
started off with
Right.
just being a simple screenshot has now become two different sets of maths and keeping records from the previous week.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh, it sounds like fun.
It's simple as a stock
I bet you
sidewinder.
got a
Yeah.
flow chart and you got a flow chart and everything, haven't you?
A flowchart. Well, actually, see, I was about to say thanks to Ian Doncaster for something else, but Ian Doncaster does literally have a flowchart in in the very same thread.
I knew it.
Very good.
Yeah. So, as you found out, yeah, we're doing really well. Like you can imagine like a really big well which runs way into the ground and never runs out of water. Like that's how well we're doing. So the and
Well done.
Do you think it's about time that then all of a sudden, something tough is going to land on us? Do you think Thargoids are planning a new challenge then?
oh God, that's probably one for Ian. You need to go on Lave. Is it Lave Radio? Yeah, you need to go on that and ask him there.
I think you find it's pronounced Lavi.
Or yeah, LA.
Lavi Radio.
But yeah, so thanks to Ian Doncaster with the normal nose report. That's so called because somebody took the name Eagle Eye apparently. So on that peristeronic homing pigeon form of communication known as the Frontier Forum. But thanks to that, we got basically 16 free systems, which Atris didn't say it earlier, but those 16 stopped attacks. 12 of those were us, and you can thank Stellar Nebula Project for the other 4.
Nice.
And also thanks to Commander Euterbio again, because a few weeks ago reported that probinating the Thargoid scouts works just as well as probinating the interceptors, which really sped things up for us.
Oh, the scouts being the little ones that look like old school Thargoids.
Yeah, the little annoying ones. I have to turn down. They're quite annoying. I have to turn the sound down because the scouts are a little bit sibilant, I would say, and they're also more rambunctious than interceptors. Although,
Rather?
yeah,
Right.
although
Okay,
He's
well,
definitely
that-
been listening into the Word of the Weeks for a while then.
He's got them all written down in front of him.
I have, but I've
He's
forgotten
picking
them
them
all.
off at random.
at least one of them usually stays within probination range, though, unlike the interceptor, so that helps quite a bit. But yeah, the point is, given that you just need to do scouts, I think anyone could do this if you unlock the caustic sink, because once you've got one of those, that will keep the caustic missile damage off your hull, and it will convert it into a more deliquescent form, which you can guardily do at the press of a
It goes
button.
again.
So basically, the invading force that were approaching on the motorways to the bubble have stalled and then turned back and been flown to a nearby nebula, witch head or something, a bit like certain bits of news from the real world. The invasion that wasn't.
Speaking of Witch Head, I didn't go out to the Witch Head, but I remember like a couple of weeks ago on the with the Hackswing said you were actually doing a little expedition there.
I think they did, yes. And they had fun.
Yeah, because apparently the invasions were stopped. Like we just saw them disappear from the map. I don't know if did the engineer did Chloe Sidesi come back?
We don't know yet. Actually, was the
Not that
I'm
you
just
can't
having a
get it.
look.
Not that you can't just use Palin for all the same stuff, but
Well, yeah, because she was his apprentice, wasn't she? I'm just trying to see whether anything. No. No news about Chloe Sidesi yet.
yeah, okay.
It doesn't mean that she's not back. It's just that nobody's spotted it if she is.
Yeah. So I kind of thought. I think to answer your question, I think if the Thargoids have like some intelligence, they probably think one of the big reasons that we can't kill all the human ships is they keep getting engineered. So let's go and invade Farseer Inc.
That would be controversial.
Yeah. I don't know. You can still get your frame shift drive done at Martuk. Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
you can go to Elvira Martuk. So.
Well, she doesn't go as high though, does she? Or does she these days?
No, actually, yeah. It's 5 for each. Felicity Farseer does a more decent selection of other stuff as well. Like there's a bit of shield booster, engine.
It's like a starter ship.
Yeah, it gets you. Yeah, it pretty much gets you like beyond what Felicity Farseer can provide. You're min-maxing at that point, basically. So. But yeah,
sounds good.
I reckon. I'm pretty sure there are clearly some random attacks on Thargoid control systems just by single commanders now. All you need to do is once you've got a ship with some corrosive cargo and some research limpets, you just drop in a control system just by the star. Wait for some interceptor to show up, like in the frame shifter normally. Then just boost away. Just put the signal behind you. Just boost away from it. Wait for the signal to disappear. Boost a bit further. Then what you'd end up doing is you leave the interceptor just to flounce around way in the distance. Then the scouts come and you just get the scouts attacking you, not the interceptor, and you can probinate them instead.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that way it's definitely no longer a velleity for one commander to win back an empty system or two, and it really isn't a crazier to give it a go.
I love how you remember all these words.
Yes. He's got a list.
It's called writing.
Tharg is getting. I would say this month he got liquidated, interrobanged, disallowed.
You get murderized with an S.
That was he got murderized with an S and a Z last time.
Yeah.
But he did get violently downcycled this time. So.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
And the results were subject to VAR. Yes. Or INIV VAR.
Yeah. Maybe we could call. I've got a new. I've got a new name for our the mission log. Inevictions.
But no fault inevictions, of course.
No fault.
Inevictions. They're banned these days. No fault inevictions. No fault evictions are now banned, you see. So we have to apportion fault and blame.
Section 21.
Yep.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm a bit slow.
No, not at all. I was just tying the conversation up in knots.
But I think they seem to use meters per second nowadays.
I got that.
Okay.
I was going to go with a beds joke, but there you go.
That one went over my head, and then it's just boomeranged back into the back of my head, and I'm going, oh yeah, I get it now. Yeah, yes. Oh dear.
Over mine.
That took me a while. Yes, knots.
Beds.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Thank you all for the show. Hail the Empress, and for the mug.
for the mug, thank you.
and now it's time for the apology officer to interrogate the Kisnik.
I would have been doing it now if you hadn't told me. Commander Kisnik, are you there? Hello. What the devil's going on with you, sir?
Same old, really.
Oh, okay.
I assume you want me to tell you then.
It would help.
No, I'm just hanging around the galactic course still, like I have been for the past few months, like some sort of space hobo.
Can you hear black holes shagging?
Yeah, there was a rumbling noise. I thought it was my stomach, but apparently it's not. It's Sagittarius A.
Well, it could still be your stomach, but it's it's gravitational waves, I believe.
Well, it could be. I mean, it's been a while since someone's thrown me a cold coffee or half a sandwich while I've been out there. So,
are you on the 3D printed hot dogs then?
Yeah.
Whoa, definitely. Nice. What's it made
Street
out of?
Food.
Protein. Good protein. Yeah, it's all fun and games till your 3D printer gives up, and then you're just eating it out of the packet.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing, and just looking at plants and trying to make all the big bucks so that I can go back home and buy a new cardboard box for the under the underpass. I can't even say that.
For under the underpass.
For your underpants.
For under the underpass.
A cardboard box for under his underpants. What do you mean under the underpass? A new cardboard box for under the underpass needs explanation.
Cardboard box.
for
Luxury.
being homeless.
Oh,
I'm homeless, and I'm upgrading to a cardboard box.
Oh, nice. And your address will be number 44 Cardboard Street.
Yeah, and if I make lots of money, I might even equip it with some extra modules like a burning barrel.
A shopping trolley?
A shopping trolley, yes, full
Oh.
of random
String.
coats.
Gotta have a dog on a piece of string.
Yeah, dog and a piece of string. You need 2 pieces of string, because one for the dog and one for a belt.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if I really, really make it, I can afford a bottle in a brown paper bag.
Don't talk crazy.
I know. The dream.
Yes, live in the now. Live in the now. Yeah.
If you're doing really well, you'll be able to put some liquid in the bottle.
Yeah, oh no.
Well, allegedly, I could drink my own urine.
Yeah, 94% of it.
Yeah.
It's probably 94% proof, in all honesty.
As long as NASA recycles it.
Yeah, a couple of spoonfuls of cremola foam in there, but lid on, give it a shake, it'll be nice as you like.
Beautiful. It'll be like Evian.
Yeah. Sparkling.
Good head on it.
Dear. Right, on...
With a hint of cabbage.
Oh! Right, on that...
On that bombshell, I think I better just say,
I think you better
for the
go.
mug.
For the mug!
Thank you. Before I go quickly,
Yeah,
can I
yes.
just say very well done to Aemilia for the button pushing?
No, you can't.
I'll retract it then.
Yeah, you've done brilliant.
The sentiment is there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Amelia,
Hi.
have you calmed down yet?
No. When do
Still.
I ever calm down?
Is the adrenaline still rushing around, is it?
The nerves, the butterflies are trying to get out.
This is where we actually check whether the record button's running.
No, we're recording, we're streaming, everything is, well, hopefully. I hope we're
don't-
recording. I really hope we're streaming.
I don't remember from the pre-show lots of mention of press record, don't forget record.
Well, I hope we're recording.
That's because she's using a super high quality set of button configurations that do it all for you.
Ah,
The
yes.
one
Except when they
Sean,
don't.
the one Sean did.
No, the one I did. Don't trust Sean's.
Thank you. Pardon?
Sean's pushes the buttons for you as well, and that's just too scary.
So how much of this week have you sort of spent gearing up for this moment?
The past 3-4 weeks. See?
I don't mean gearing up as in buying a stream deck. I mean,
No,
psychologically.
learning how to do the buttons has been about 3-4 weeks of me and Jim on Discord discussing things and working things out, and Jim explaining stuff to me and me not understanding and having to get him to explain it again. So and it culminates right here, right now, at this very moment, and I haven't messed it up yet. At least I don't think I have.
Not that we've noticed, and not that the chat's noticed. It's been pretty much
Seamless.
Yes, it's,
But I mean,
You are about to listen to Aemilia Hall. She tries all the
Yeah.
galaxy's most dangerous rare items.
We
so
didn't-
You don't have to.
we didn't have a Galnet. We didn't have a rares. You know, so that was fun. But we
was
do
that
have a green.
deliberate? Was that intentional?
Well, the rares definitely. Because it was my first time putting bushing.
Bushing buttons.
Yeah,
putting
bushing.
cushions.
See, it's not the buttons that's the problem. It's my mouth. It's
I think I've identified the problem. How much have you had to drink? Because it's clearly not enough yet.
not enough yet. But yeah, I mean,
And was anything about it? Were you surprised by anything in this whole process, or
Yes.
What was the? Okay, what was that?
it's so technical, and it's when you get into the nuances of the button pushing, like programming the stream deck. It's like one button does something like 80 odd actions.
If you've set it all up right.
Yes, and that's where things can go wrong. Because that's why we've spent the past 4 weeks trying to set up all the buttons on my stream deck. But thankfully, so far so good. You know, I mean, we still have a bit of show left, but you know,
Well, you have to pick something to add in next time you do it. So we've done this one. So which segment are we going to add in for the next one? Add the layers back in. It's probably going to be a rares next time.
Well,
do
I was going
you
to
reckon?
say
definitely.
if you add a Galnet, because we obviously didn't play any audio or video, any pre-record, did we? Apart from sort of the jingle stuff. So a large piece of, or even doing the URL links, maybe.
Well, I did put one picture in for the banter. I mean, I put all the pictures in for the news, but I mean, with the banter, we didn't have any pictures, so I found a picture of a banana. So you have a banana for scale.
But with the web browser,
teeny tiny.
the web browser thingy.
Yeah, the browser source is quite a nice one when you get it, because as we're talking, you can sort of flip up things on screen like a flip chart of. And here's the website that space news that Chicks is talking about.
See, that's advanced. I am not there yet.
Well,
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But I mean, yeah,
And-
it's fun. I
And what
highly
has
recommend doing
Sandrine
it.
made of the past few?
She's been having a
and
laugh.
arms are square.
She's been joking with. Actually, she's been joining in on our conversations when I've been learning stuff and cracking jokes and things and laughing profusely at my inadequacies with the button pushing.
It's when you hit that final button and you get the end of it, and then you do the raid on the next channel at the end of the show. You do get that very satisfied. Thank God for that feeling at the end of it. You do get the
And then you stay up all half the night uploading it to this and reconfiguring it and remuxing it to this and doing it and sending it there. And
I don't know how to do that yet, so.
oh well,
Now that you've got some stuff to work with, we'll show you after the show.
Yeah.
You've got till 6 a.m. to learn.
Right. So why 6 a.m.?
Oh, all right, 7 a.m.
That's when people start complaining that the podcast's not available for them.
Where's the show?
I missed it last night. I wasn't live. Why weren't you live? If you are listening to this on YouTube, why were you not here in the green room chatting to us? That's what I want to know.
I can't get the show on my AM radio.
But yeah, I mean it's great fun and it's great prep as well, because I'm going to be streaming eventually myself.
on your own channel.
Yeah, on
as
my
well as
own
this
channel.
one. I can't play Odyssey on my Commodore 64.
So this is a great learning experience, and it's so much fun. I love it.
It's always nice to learn a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, new things are cool.
Well, mostly.
Yeah, it's what we need at this time of year. Cool is good.
Yes, but I mean, yeah. Aside from the past 4 weeks of learning how to do this, and it's not been. It's been pretty uneventful.
You got any fingernails left?
No, but then if I did grow my fingernails, my wife would probably complain.
Oh no!
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah. For the mug, shall we?
Yes.
For the mug.
Right.
Mr. 21, how have you been, sir?
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, enjoyed the trip to Halifax, and then landed and got very heavily involved in exobiology.
Mm-hmm.
The programming for the DLC for which is nearing, very, very nearing completion. We've entered the final stage of alpha acceptance testing, and we decided yesterday morning, or was it the afternoon before, to add a new feature at the last minute. A bit of scope creep went on while I was waiting for a few bits to be done, and decided, we've got Vega, Brent Spiner and Anna, who does the Callisto pack, sort of talking about you need to go at least 150 meters to get your next sample. And I thought, well, how hard can that be? I mean, just get it to tell you when you reached 150 meters. So I had a quick think about it and thought, well, you're traveling over a sphere of an indeterminate radius, and we've got latitude and longitude, and something in the back of my mind and a bit of a chat with LCU reminded me the Haversine formula, which allows you, given a pair of sets of latitude and longitude, to work out how far along the sphere you've traveled at any point in time. So program that all up, and it now very handily, when you've walked far enough from sample 1 to sample 2, or the right region for it, it says you're now far enough. So not the voice, but it puts a little message on the VA screen at the moment. We've got to get some audio sorted for that. But it now actually tells you when you travel far enough. Of course, the first thing our alpha
Fantastic.
testers said to me is, okay, clever clogs, but when you take the second sample, it needs to tell you when you're far enough away from both.
I was just wondering that.
Yeah, so at the moment it tells you when you're far enough away from the previous sample, but if you walk back towards the original one, it says you're now far enough, which is not entirely true. Probably won't make the double check into the first release.
Boo,
But sooner or later, but it's been a fairly complex thing because the way it works is when you get the exobiology pack, you get these new audio recordings from Brent and from Anna and also from Astra, and so some of them recorded, some and not others. So Astra's got everything, Callisto's got everything except bacteria at the moment because I'm an idiot and we accidentally skipped a page in studio.
Just call it antibiotics.
Yeah, and then Brent's only got the genus but not the species because we wouldn't want to inflict that much on him. So what we had to work out is so when you've got them in your suit with you, of course they can give you the right answers. But what about things they don't know about? How's that going to work? So we said, well, okay, they need to call the ship, call your database to radio your ship to get the rest of the information. Otherwise, it sort of breaks the. You can't have two Jarvises in your suit. That's wrong. So we had to get all the audio together so that when he doesn't know about something, he then calls the ship, and then the ship database that answers you back from one of the other voices that you do have, so he can actually call the ship as a knowledge base for information. And of course, if you find things that we don't know about yet, it's got to cater for that, just in case there's some exobiology that's not been discovered yet. We think it has. Some of the color variations, I think, are yet to be found, but so it's got to handle that soundscape in your suit. You've got one voice with you. How is it going to get the information from the other? So we've had to sort that bit out, and of course, let you customize it. You might want Vega and Callisto to talk, or Vega and Astra, or you get the idea. You can mix and match a bit. Yeah. So who is it going to be calling? We then had to cater for all the voices who haven't recorded the exobiology. So Midnight and Vasco, a bit of Brian Blessed, Tom Baker. So what do? They're walking around with you in your suit and you scan something. Well, they actually have to. So we've had to find the audio for them to call the ship, the right words, so that they can give you the details back. We found a bug in the journal. Bug feature, whichever, so that if you look in your journal when you're scanning things, when you first scan something, you get what's known as a log entry, which tells you what the genus and species are that you've just scanned. And the second time you sample it, you get a sample entry, which is much the same thing. And the third time you scan, you get a sample entry and an analyze entry.
Well, hey.
Which, of course, would mean it was treating it like playing both sounds. You get a bit of an overlap where it plays them concurrently.
Which never sounds good.
Which never sounds good. So it has to learn what stage of the scan you're at, and then sack off the second sample and only do the analyzed response, which is the species response. So we had to program all of that in. But then what happens if you log out the game when you've done two samples, you log in and you're doing your third one? Is it still going to work or break? Or what happens if you swap commanders in the middle of doing scans? Those kind of things. So there's a lot of fault testing's gone on with the beta team to try and work out basically how can commanders mess up exobiology. I mean, not everybody scans all three. They might scan one and go, oh, actually that's worth no money, and go do the next one. So it's got to recover from those nicely. So it's been a lot of refinement. The audio's there, it was sounding great, but we had to do a lot of refinement on the exobiology pack. And you can now customize it, and if you get bored of hearing about Campestris or a bit of the Concha labiata, and you don't want to hear them anymore, you can turn off certain sounds as well. So if you don't want to hear the scan 2, you turn it off. Scan 1, it tells you what it is, the name of it and the distance. Scan 2, it gives you the genus. Scan 3, it gives you the full species detail, which we felt was an appropriate way of doing it, given what loads into your journal if you were to look at it ever in the game, your codex.
Yeah.
And it's important to say, obviously, all the information that it's providing is stuff that you could find actually by looking around in your suit computer or in your ship, by looking at the codex. What it does, it just gives you it in the audioscape while you're walking to the next one. It's telling you all about this species. So it fills
all
in
about
that gap.
it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Exactly. It fills in the gap for you while you're walking to the next one. It works if you hop into your SRV, and it works if you hop into your ship, and getting that right was important. So yeah, it's been a complex week of refining exobiology to make it a bit more interesting when you're out there doing the scanning and the hopping and the bits.
Yeah, discovering all the additional states it could be in and all of the ways that people try and
obviously
break fringe states.
Already looking at upgrades for it to do with the colors and whether they're based on star class or materials. That's not going into phase 1, but we're looking about whether it can tell you information as to why it's a lime one or why it's a mauve one or whatever the color is. What is causing this color? Is it the star class or is it the materials on the planet, which we do get in the journal. It's information that Frontier added for us and also for the other third-party developers so that we could do this kind of analysis. So we can actually now determine why it is what it is, that one, but also based on the atmosphere, whether it's carbon dioxide or whatever, what are the likely candidates for the planet you're just scanning as well? What kind of species is it likely to have based on star class, material composition, and of course the atmosphere composition? So we're getting into a bit of science as well with it, working with LCU over at Canon Interstellar. So there's an upgrade feature we're looking at. And then obviously working on Ad Astra upgrades as well, getting it to tell you whether you've got enough materials for whatever it is upgrade you want, multi-cannon ammo and that kind of thing. And that's a summer project to upgrade Ad Astra as well. So it's been heavy on the Elite, but most of it's been testing, not really playing or joining in. But you know what I mean? I'm still
doing the same loop over and over again while doing exobio. Yeah.
How many space cubes? What you have to find, you have to find a spot on the planet where there are 3 species near each other, and you're doing the first scan on the first one, and then you do the first scan on the next one of a different species, which of course sacks off the Dysonator and throws away the tin. So you can test all of the first ones in all of the voices, and then you do sort of one and a second scan, and then go. You know what I mean? So it's an iterative process.
Yes,
but with the maths,
I'd like to see an upgrade to the Dysonator where you could add a second canister to it, so you could.
Now you're making my life difficult. Because then it needs to know which scan of which kind of sample. Yes. So
I want to see the Roomba version where it goes and gets them for you,
or smears its way through the bacteria and drives bacteria all over the planet, like the conversation earlier.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to getting that pack. To be honest, it'll actually encourage me to go out and do some more.
It's
astrobio.
It's a funny one because unlike the voice control packs, it's not designed to help you play the game. It doesn't really add any features. We already have all the button pushes and everything. This is, for the want of a better word, pure theatre. It is just it's extra audio when you're doing stuff. So it's augmenting what's in the game as opposed to helping you control it any better. And in fact, there aren't any voice commands at the moment. You give. We tried programming in the voice commands. Tell me about ... And we realized rapidly with somebody over in Texas and people with different accents and one guy down in South America that trying to say some of these exobiology names and get them recognized accurately was a little bit tricky. Some of them were easy, tell me about bacteria. Well, of course that's going to work.
Yes.
But you then trying to sort of get to the I don't know, just looking up the Alioida one here, or are they Alioida or Aloida? How is that pronounced? And Arcus is easy, but Coronamus, the different pronunciations. It is dependent on the accuracy of the your own accent and how well trained your computer is, and it just proved to be impossible. The recognition was not accurate enough.
No,
but you can
Microsoft's recognition engine is
a feature we did add is you can say, "What the heck is that?" and it does the point emote. And if the point emote hits a plant, it will actually tell you about the plant. So you can actually walk up to a plant and go, "What the heck is that?" and it'll tell you.
Awesome.
We have added future features. When you do that to a building, it'll tell you that's where your bed is. Or you can point at an NPC and Eli insults them. So we've added hooks in for pointing at all sorts of things. What the heck is that? That's a barrel. Sarcastic responses. But yes, you can walk up to a plant and say, "What the heck is that?" And assuming the hitbox, your finger actually points at the plant, it will actually tell you what the heck that is. And that's quite a good feature. It's quite fun. If you get bored of scanning, you can say, "What's that?" And it tells you.
Nice.
So it's been really good fun. I've been flexing the old grey matter a little bit.
Yeah, really good fun and maths.
And maths, yes. Luckily, the internet is a great repository for how to do things, and
yes,
yeah, even when the answers are wrong, because then you program it all in and realise the answer you were given is completely wrong, and so you have to work out why, and then you might as well have done it properly in the first place.
No, it's completely correct within sufficiently large margins of experimental error.
Yes. So other than that, that's been my week, and then tomorrow I'm off to go and play at Sandown Park Racecourse.
Ooh.
As I
What
do
are you
at this
playing
time
there?
of year. I'm playing a home building and renovation show.
Aha.
My annual trip there to an exhibition, which will be good fun.
Yeah.
2 more to go, and then it's ECM time.
Way.
Woo! Other than that, for the mug from me.
For the mug.
Which means it's me to speak to the apology officer.
I think you'll find I'm the apology office.
The apology office, all
It's
right.
the apology office, look.
Oh, yeah, so it is, yeah.
Anyway, it's just a
Well,
simple
seeing as I
thing.
missed it, I'll just sit here and go for the entire time that you're doing
we
it.
need that to end,
No, you can
so
stop now.
I'm just going to go with a quick for the mug.
Oh, okay then.
That was easy. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Then it's me to talk to Lithobreaker.
I'm just amazed at how short the apology officer was.
That was very short. Yeah. Very, very short.
That's enough for that. Move on.
How are you, Jim?
I'm good, I think. Yeah, I've enjoyed training a new button pusher.
I've enjoyed it too.
We now have a spare. It's excellent.
A button
I can
pusher.
sit back with my feet up. Yeah, a button pusher. A Hutton button pusher.
Yeah. No, it's been so much fun, and thank you so much for taking the time to, tutor me.
It's been fun.
Well, you can push the buttons, so he doesn't have to.
That's true.
Exactly.
So how are you? Have you been up
good.
to anything besides training me? Have you been into game at all?
No.
Uh-huh.
Still not.
Oh.
But I've dusted off the 3D printer and woken it up and printed off a few bits and pieces that have been sitting there waiting in the queue for a while.
Oh yeah, you showed me that fidget thingy.
Yeah, I've got a broken broadband at the moment, which is why sometimes my voice keeps disappearing for seconds at a time. But hopefully BT will be fixing that tomorrow for me. Fingers crossed. They've already declared it fixed once, and my ISP went back to them and said, nah, that's not fixed, without me even needing to lift a finger. So that was very nice of them. So yeah, BT are actually getting an engineer to come out rather than just saying, I'll switch it off and on again, and they'll say it's fine, it'll be okay. So that's all good. And earlier today, I discovered that I will definitely still be here next week for the show.
Awesome.
The week after, not so much.
Oh.
And after that, more often not than yes, but only for a few months. But I'll be back in time for LaveCon because I've already got the holiday booked for that. Sorry, DaveCon.
Oh, DaveCon.
I've already got the
I was
holiday
going to say
booked for
LaveCon.
Yeah, DaveCon.
DaveCon.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they don't
So,
have a LaveCon this year, do they?
No, they didn't.
No.
That's why we're having a DaveCon.
Are they having a virtual LaveCon, do you know?
Nope.
No kind.
Are we having a virtual...
It has been retired.
Are we having a virtual ECM?
Yep.
Well, there is a concurrent, hopefully, VECM for those people that can't make it. So we're going to invite people, as we did with the virtual one, into the Discord channel and maybe a bit into TeamSpeak and get some online gaming going as well.
That might
And
be
hopefully
fun.
catch up with them off the main screen if we can get them into chat, into the green room. We can have a bit of a chat with them with the room. Little Grey has got some ideas on how we can mix and match the streaming a little bit. But yeah, we will need hosts. Those people who can't make it but are about, you're more than welcome to sort of join us remotely and fire up some games, whether it's CQC or it's a few online multiplayer games as well. Maybe get into a game with people who are actually at the event too. But yes, there will be a mini virtual ECM at the same time for those that can't make it.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. Other than that, there's not really a lot of news here. I've been pushing buttons, teaching button pushing, and staying for the mug.
For the mug.
Right, Flossy,
Yes,
How the blazes are you?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
No, what I did that bit already. This one's about you. So you made it. You obviously you did make it back safely from.
I did, yes.
Yeah, and escorted by King Hanky of Colonia back to the station.
Yes, I was. Yes, he did a very good job of escorting me from the hotel to the dude, back to the hotel again, and then to the station.
And
I say hotel; it was a pub, right?
Well, yeah, a decent train ride back there. Though it was lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you too. Yeah.
And unlike you, I ended up wearing my peanut butter stout. What a wrong time to wear a white shirt. I was quaffing it so much, I dribbled it all down my chin. And of course, as stout does, my lovely white shirt is now not white anymore.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Other than that, have you been taking part in any of the CGs you've been talking about?
Yes, I've been doing the mining CG all afternoon.
And are you in the top 10?
I was in top 10. I think I've dropped down a bit now. Last looked, I was top 25%, but looking at an hour, I'm probably back down to top 50% now. So,
oh well, you'll get back up there.
I'll get some more done. I'll probably concentrate on that this week rather than playing any other games.
Does it have to be mined, Burton Dyke Frost?
Yes, it does.
Shit.
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, you can't be sneaky.
No.
Well, I've got tons of it on my fleet carrier from Hutton Orbital.
Uh-huh.
Thousands of tons. All right.
No, that's regarded as cheating, so they have it disabled. But people still sell stuff there.
Well, I was trying to work out. I was just looking at the list of Bertrand Dyke, Coltan, and Praseodymium. What the common thing they're all used for is.
Oh, right. No idea.
Probably not all the same thing.
No, probably not.
Let's have a look. Is there anything that's made out of those things? No, I can't really see anything. I mean, coltan and praseodymium are rare earths. Coltan is used to make tantalum powder made heat-resistant capacitors. Okay, well, that's a reasonable thing they could need to make stuff. Praseodymium, what's it used for? That's the question. Uses and properties. High-strength alloy forms of magnesium is used in aircraft engines.
Oh,
and used to make flints for cigarette lighters.
Very useful.
And permanent magnets. Okay. And what about Bertrandite? So magnets. Okay. So these are. I can understand why they've picked some sensible things, I suppose. But what are uses of Bertrandite? There we go. Let's have a look. Does it tell me? Ooh, hiccups. It often occurs as a pseudomorphic replacement of beryl. Oh, lucky beryl. I'm trying to find any uses. Is it giving me any? I can't think. No, it's not giving me any uses of Bertrandite. Yeah, there must be a use for it, but meanings, properties, and uses.
Missions.
Apparently, it's a crystal with a sweet high vibration. Ooh. No, this is hippies use it to develop your psychic abilities. That'd be the wrong kind of use. That's made up nonsense.
Probably the poor god cultists that need it all then.
No, I can't find any sensible uses. I'm sure it is. Colouring things. No, healing crystals. Oh, apparently it serves technology well. Oh, to do with lasers. There we go. Stuff to do with lasers. Okay, so lasers and magnets and cigarette lighters. That's what we're getting this stuff for that CG. There we go.
Right.
Just in case you were wondering, Flossy. Okay. Got anything else to add this week?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I'll see how it was at Rampage's birthday, as you know. But nothing else really.
Okay. For the mug
so
from you.
I will say for the mug.
And the penultimate interview is the Apple Boat
Commander,
Officer.
you're doing it again.
It's the pre-penultimate interview.
Is it the penultimate?
Pre-penultimate.
Anyway, checks.
Yes.
For a while, would you?
Any particular subject?
Elite Dangerous, if you can.
Well,
Without hesitation, repetition, or the other issue.
don't be ridiculous.
And you can't mention mugs.
Well, that's going to be a short conversation, isn't it? Well, it's going, as you can see. I came across some data this week that I'm going to fiddle around with to see if I can forecast. It'll be a very short baseline forecast, but you got me thinking earlier when I saw the number. I was like, oh, okay, because we've assumed, or I've assumed rather, there's 400,000 settlements.
Yes.
Markets. So my current estimate. I can't do it that way, so I'm going to have to do it this way.
Okay, right. Rather than doing maths online, what?
No, I'm not doing maths online. I'm going to read you a date. Because my current forecast for that finishing is late 27.
not late on the 27th.
No.
Late 2000. Late.
At the rate we are going, if it's 400,000, because obviously the one on the Hutton Helper is meaningless because it goes up 2 days every day.
So that would be round about 3312.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Is that 2 and the 7? Are they the first 2 digits of the year or the last 2?
Yes.
They are definitely something like that. Yes. Right.
So, yeah, I mean, if everyone could do a little bit, that would help, obviously. But
whose idea was this again?
Shouty.
Well, it was discussed at LaveCon last year, wasn't it? Everybody. It is interesting that everybody who thought it was a good idea hasn't really taken part very much.
How much had they been drinking?
Did you not understand that's how it
the
works?
usual amount.
Yeah, well,
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So there is that, but why are we doing it? Well, because it's there,
Well, yeah.
obviously. So
In the immortal words of Bamber Gascoigne and Magnus Magnusson and many others,
George
we
Mallory.
started, so we'll finish.
We'll finish.
Yes, I mean, lots of that. You heard earlier that Waller 81 went through 10,000 today, this afternoon.
Wow.
You did 10,000 this afternoon.
No.
Well, be over in no
Well, he
time
did
at
his
that rate.
10,000.
That's a hell of a lot to do in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Especially after a big lunch.
Oh, I had a tie for lunch.
Right. Stick to the subject.
Well, I was talking about 10,000 mugs a second ago.
Yeah. Carry on.
So I've now got this idea about forecasting some more. Not that it'll make me deliver mugs any faster, obviously.
No,
if I'm bugging around doing something else, I'm not delivering mugs. But it's that little stat where the number of people who have delivered the minimum number of mugs over a period of time, that's getting shorter and shorter. It hovered around 32 for quite a while.
Yeah.
But today it was 30. And it's 10 more every week. So, which is interesting because if you think we've got 293 people signed up.
Yeah.
Most of them. In fact, there's a whole swathe of people, if you look down the bottom of the list, who've
They've
got
done one.
One.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A certain hairless member of Frontier staff as well. But then again.
Yeah, but they were kicking it off. That was the first one, wasn't it?
I remember that one. Chuck Handgun. That was
Chuck
good night. That
Handgun.
was good fun.
Right.
So now I'm making another little. I'm actually making. Jim will be interested in this. I'm making an official SCE to Orcs plate for my joystick.
Woo!
I drew it all up in SketchUp yesterday, so I've just got to. I've got the stain. I've cut the stainless for it.
Yeah. Once you've coloured it in, it'll be lovely.
Coloured in. It's called a new word of the week for you. Champlev.
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 Oh.
It's the process of making putting enamel. So you either etch or stamp or otherwise make an indentation into a metal, and then you fill it with enamel, and then polish it back to the original metal surface.
All right. So
It's called champleve.
So not a French chap then.
No.
Look at him, he's such a champleve.
Champleve. Sounds French. I'm not entirely sure it is French. It might be Italian.
Or Belgian.
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm doing another one of them. And another little project, which is a bit secret.
Okay. I wouldn't ask about it then.
It's all right. But it's along similar lines.
Nice. So is that you then?
Well, it's interesting because I'm sat on this planet's surface because I'm obviously not flying while I'm talking to you, and in the background I can hear piano music.
Oh yeah, they play piano music. Yeah,
So I
creepy
just
piano
took my
music.
headphones off to see where the hell's that coming from, and it's
Yes.
obviously in the game in the background.
I think it's supposed to sound lonely and desolate.
It
but
does.
It does just sound a bit creepy.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I've other than usual weekly rust busting, I've not been doing much else.
Oh. Okay then.
Did countersunk 8 1-inch holes yesterday though, which was quite a.
What you do in your spare time?
Yeah, well, proper stuff. Big dobbin drills. Anyway, for the mug.
Right. For the mug.
And last up?
Last up, time to talk to Commander Aiden. Are you there, Commander Aiden?
Yes, I is here.
Who is here? And how you doing, old fruit?
Yeah, not bad, trucking along, as the saying goes. Just...
Keeping the controls pointed towards the destination and all that?
Yeah, pretty much. Off down to your neck of the woods tomorrow, just to catch up with people. And life continues, really.
Absolutely, it does, and it was lovely to see you at the weekend up at Halifax.
Yeah, I mean that was a very good weekend.
Very, very good weekend. Much Cards Against what was it? Cards Against Muggles or Muggles Against Humanity or whatever it was. That the very rude Harry Potter version of Cards Against.
Yeah, I turned up late for that one.
Yeah, right, and then there was the Bad People game where the answer to nearly everything was dead meat.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Or Flossy. Yeah, Flossy. A lot of people were crediting you with being a lot worse than expected. But
Terrible.
and so, how long did your train journey back take? It was a bit because you had a few stops, didn't you? You had to go east coast down and.
I only had to change twice.
No, I meant him. The one we're
sorry.
interviewing. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it's when you started speaking to me just before. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I only had one change to do, and I got to Preston plenty of time, even though my train was delayed. I think I saw you on the platform, Flossy, but
right.
you were deep in thought, and so I thought, I'm not going to bother you. You did,
No, you should have done.
You should have just shouted "Mug" or something across the platform.
Yeah. Were you on the same train as me then to Preston?
Probably, yes.
'Cause mine was delayed. Yeah.
But
I had about 8 minutes to get my next one.
Yeah, I had marginally longer, but to go south. So I had just enough time to go to the shop on just at the bottom of the ramp. Nipped in and went, oh, they're doing classic. They've got classic magnums. I'll have one of those.
Oh, wish I'd known.
I went
on a hot afternoon like that. Yeah, definitely much needed. Yeah.
Well, I just sort of went in and went. I'm feeling, I had a quick look and went, no, not feeling it. Oh, they've got ice creams. I'll have a look. Oh, they've got magnums. Right, I'll have one of those. And that was lunch.
Right, well, yeah, no, it certainly keeps the sugar levels up. And have you found any time at all for flying spaceships, or are you on sabbatical at the moment?
I'm on sabbatical at the moment. I may pick it up at some point. I might, when I get back up in range of the control system next week, probably Sunday, or maybe Monday. I may just break it out and go mining, and take the river horse out to a mining site and just see what's changed.
Yeah, chill out, blow some things up. Hey, you can go mining Thargoids. That's the thing. We still haven't had feedback from Aemilia yet on mining Thargoids. We still need to take Aemilia out to mine Thargoids.
This is true.
Can I ask a question? What kind of ship is the river horse?
Well, I've got 2 ships called that have river horse in the name.
That's what I'm asking.
One is called the Hungry River Horse.
Yes.
And the other one's called the Ravenous River Horse.
Where got that idea from?
And the other one is
the Ravenous River Horse.
The Ravenous River Horse. And are they Type 9s?
No. One. The Hungry River Horse is a Conda.
Okay.
And the Ravenous River Horse is a cutter.
Oh, for God's sake!
But no proper hungry hippos.
No,
I
they're...
suppose you could have a Type 10, which is the horny river horse.
I do have a Type 7, which is called the water horse, for the very same reason that your river horses are called river horses.
Well, I was just thinking, given the old board game,
yes,
and mining, it went. That works.
The reason I'm asking is because my Type 9 is the frisky hippo, as you know.
Yeah.
So I thought I would check in your
Well,
water
of course,
horse
your
names.
water horse is a kelpie, yes.
Well,
a Scottish lake monster. Apology, officer.
No, it's a hippo. That's what hippo means.
No, the water horse. If you're from North Britain, a water horse is a kelpie.
No, that's the ones that come and take you away. They take you under the water.
A water horse is a nickname for a Scottish lake monster.
No, a kelpie's a kelpie. A water horse or a river horse, more specifically, is a hippo.
No, but a water horse is a Scottish thing. There you go.
It's not a Scottish. Nobody calls it a
It
water
is.
horse. It's
Definitely.
a kelpie.
A kelpie is a water horse.
What are the 2 big heads called?
Have you not seen the movie Water Horse, based in Scotland?
No. Is it terrible?
It's not good.
Yeah.
Well, it's based in Scotland, so.
But,
What they should have called it was
it is meant to be
kelpies.
a slang name.
Well, there is actually a distinction between a water horse and a kelpie, and I'm just reading about it here. The distinction: the water horse is a denizen of lochs, and the kelpie of turbulent water such as rivers.
Yes.
So a water horse is definitely only from lochs.
Only from lochs.
Yep.
And obviously, it's the translation of hippopotamus.
But they are hippocampus.
Hippocampus is called the hippocampus because it's shaped like a seahorse.
Yep, which is another name for kelpie, which is another name for
No,
water
it's
horse.
not.
It is.
It's not. A seahorse is never. No one in Scotland has ever called a kelpie anything other than a kelpie.
I love these discussions.
It's all about words. I'm sending you the reference here.
I am aardvarking you.
You're aardvarking me.
You've been
Yeah, well, as long as you
aardvarked.
don't for the mug.
It's the safe word.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's like calling calling my Alliance Crusader Henry Jones Jr.
Nobody calls him Henry.
That's his
Indiana.
name. That's what he was christened with. We named the dog Indiana.
All I'm saying is that was written by someone in South Britain.
Oh, right, okay.
The one in the picture's white.
The
How many are
Gaelic
black?
the Gaelic word, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce, is literally water horse. as if you translate it.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
go
you
on, try and
translate
pronounce it, please.
Go on.
Oh, I can't. No,
Is it rude?
It's got to be a ch, and I'm gonna have to put that pronunciation through an IPA reader. But ich UISGE, a water horse. Apparently, it's similar to a kelpie, but far more vicious in this one. There you go.
This one's describing it with, right, the term waterhorse originally given to the kelpie. This is not a description of a kelpie. It has head, neck, and mane of a normal horse, front legs like a horse, webbed feet, and a long two-sided, two-lobed whale-like tail. That's not a kelpie because the kelpie tricks you by getting you to ride on it and then takes you into the water and drowns you. So you're not going to fall for that. You're not going to go, oh, look, a lovely big horse if it's got a whale tail in the back.
Maybe. I mean, it's only going far. I'm looking back here. 1888, William Butler Yeats. 1929. Mentioned by Walter Gill. So you're definitely in use. Just maybe. Well, we'll have to investigate kelpies. Well, maybe we'll send Aemilia.
Yes,
they're clearly rare.
And they're clearly dangerous.
And in next week's episode of Myths and Legends of the British Isles, with you, the Bog East.
Yeah, we'll ditch the space news. We're going to have legendary news next.
Scuba gear and the kelpie can't touch you.
So back to Aidan.
That sounds like a really dodgy band name.
Completely distracted.
No, that's entirely fine. I threw the first homonym.
Yeah, you're the one that started the bar fight. You're the one in the bar who never ends up in the bar fight and sitting in the corner watching everybody else fight when you've just sort of thrown a grenade into the room.
You started the whole thing by telling us the name of one of your ships. How dare you?
And they always turn out to be furniture salesmen.
If you want to go like that, well, you did ask what I was going to be using to mine.
That would be a big laser.
Well, what kind of a ship?
I'm disgusted by your answers, but move on.
Yes, I know.
I'm using a cutter too.
But
Helen!
I'm not going to apologise for my choice of ships.
Just as well, because that's my job. I don't want you treading on my toes.
Exactly. You know, it's trademark infringement, and
a
man in my position that would be highly inadvisable.
Yeah, and highly lucrative for me.
Well, yes, that's also the other reason why I don't do it.
Yes. I mean, it's bad enough having money taken off of you, but you don't want it given to somebody like me. I'll only waste it.
Well, you know, I mean, the Barnett formula and all that lot, but that's probably a...
And listen...
Is that how much Elton John pays for his
wigs? Nothing to do with wig makers.
Yeah. Anyway, nothing really more from me.
I think you've done enough damage, pal. for the mug.
Damage? What damage? I see no damage.
I wasn't even supposed to be talking to you, was I?
Just with a scratch.
We're all confused now. Right. Well, I think if Commander Aiden's exhausted the end of the mining, the water horses, the river horses, the hungry hippos, the ravenous hippos, and the kelpies,
and the frisky hippos,
and the crispy hippos.
Yes, frisky.
Yeah.
What have the Romans ever done for us?
Aqueduct.
Right. Other than that, Commander Aiden, much love to the family.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
And we will obviously speak to you over the next few weeks. But you know where we are.
Indeed.
Yeah. So avoid that place at all costs.
Yes. Avoid that place. But just in case you need us, you know where we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Other than that, okay, it's time for sort of me to hand back to the button masher extraordinaire.
Well,
to say,
see,
are you nearly ready?
Well, you see, I was thinking, instead of me doing the big for the mug at the end, because it's a green room week and because I'm pushing the buttons, maybe our green room attendees could do a massive for the mug.
Oh yeah.
After the
Or
klaxon.
we could do a countdown 3, 2, 1, and then they say the.
Well, no,
yes?
3 klaxon alarms go off, and then our guests shout.
Why might there be a klaxon alarm? Just for those people in the Twitch chat there. Why in a minute are we going to have a klaxon alarm, Amelia?
Because it's probably going to get loud, especially considering there's going to be 3 of them, hopefully, shouting out
Yep.
for the mug.
So yes, if you are of a sensitive disposition, if you've got earphones in your ears or ear cans over your ears, and you're afraid of loud noises or you're concerned about your eardrums, you may want just for a second after the klaxon to move them away from your ears in case bad things will happen. Other than that, we will be back next week. Next Thursday. It's entirely up in the air as to who wants to play on the button pushing. It could be one of us, it could be none of us, but it's probably going to be somebody.
There's only a few buttons left. I mean, what could go wrong now, right?
Yeah, we're looking forward to the return of Commander Wotherspoon, and obviously we'll have to find out what happened to him when he was on his holidays or whatever happened this week. And we look forward to some rares. Other than that, before we do the klaxon, anybody got anything to add?
Are you ready, guys?
Right. Fire the klaxon.
For the mug!
For the mug!
For that mug!
Mug.
The Benny Hill Boys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?
Seamless.